Hey there, race fans. It's race day, top five with me, Frank Five. Wednesday night special. That's right. NASCAR in its return from all that's happening in our country had a Wednesday night special under the lights at Darlington Raceway, the Lady in Black. And the racing and the drama did not disappoint. Yet, Mother Nature had to put a hold on the race, but it didn't damper one person, and that was the winner in Hamlin. Number one, Denny Hamlin captured the Toyota 500K last night at Darlington Raceway in what was a strong performance by the 11-car guy. It's been so good at this racetrack, guys. Won a Southern 500 before. Strong race car last night, winning the race. Ultimately, the race was called towards the very end due to rain. We were playing with rain for most of the day, and we were wondering were we going to get the whole race in or not. We got the race in. We got to halfway. We were 20 laps in the finish until Mother Nature decided to start crying and pour down. Literally, we lost the track, so NASCAR had to call it. Denny Hamlin scored his second win of the season, of course, opened the year winning the Daytona 500. He's got a second win of the season, winning it over his teammate Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick, Brad Keselowski, and Eric Jones. Strong night all around for the Gibbs organization, which, we'll get to, and there are other things that happen. But Denny Hamlin, so far, 2 wins, same as Joey Logano. Those two, as well as Kevin Harvick, seem to be the favorites. The first couple of races, there's still a lot more races left to run and we have to make up for, but Denny Hamlin is picking up right where he left off last year, dominant and up front, winning and contending for races. That 11 car is going to be hard to beat when we get to the playoffs. Number 2, Kyle Busch, second place finish last night, putting behind what was a disappointing Sunday because he had to start in the rear Sunday, drove all the way up to the top 5, and then had to pit in the middle of the race because of a loose wheel, and he never recovered and had to sell for 26th. And last night, at the beginning of the race, that car did not look good whatsoever. It looked exactly like what happened to Martin Truex Jr. on Sunday. Car was not good at the beginning, but they kept making adjustments as the race progressed and progressed and progressed. So we went on. Kyle Busch jumped into the top 10, and it looked for a moment that Special M&M's Fudge Brownie Toyota was going to win this race. But obviously, it didn't happen. He came second place, and I'll get to Kyle Busch again later about what everyone else is talking about other than just Denny Hamlin winning the race. Number 3, Kevin Harvick, off a dominating win on Sunday, kind of struggled with track position and a fast race car last night. They started by inverted positions. Basically, the 20th place finisher from Sunday started first. That was Ryan Preece. Kevin Harvick, who finished first, started 20th. And he didn't really get going like I thought he would. I expected Harvick to be a bullet and just fly to the front. But it took him a while, and he was stuck in some of the wrong lanes on restarts, particularly on the bottom. You don't want to be on the bottom on the restarts at Darlington. The top groove is mostly preferred because you get a good launch off the corner and you get a good launch. Have better grip on the top than you do like on the bottom portion of the aprons in turns 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. You don't really get a lot of grip, and you can't really pass on there unless if you have fresh tires, obviously. But Kevin Harvick just kind of he had to fight with track position, got some track position, cautions played his way, and he got up there, and it felt like maybe he could win the race. But Kevin Harvick, again, a solid finish. He's the only driver so far not to finish outside the top 10 this year. He's finished top 10 in every single race he's been in, and one of them obviously was the win at Darlington Sunday. So Kevin Harvick has just got speed in his race car, and he's just getting the job done when it matters the most. Number 4, Clint Bowyer was by far the best car last night, winning both stages. Clint Bowyer's kind of had an up and down year so far. He's had good race cars, but sometimes the finishes haven't really shown it. I think if my memory serves right, I think Clint Bowyer only has two top 10s this season, being the Daytona 500 and the Phoenix race that we last ran before that we had the hold due to the pandemic. But Clint Bowyer was a rocket ship last night. He had the best car, winning both stages. It looked like he was on cruise control. Then, he got stuck behind some of the dirty traffic, and we all know clean air means a difference at tracks like this. And he just got stuck in that dirty air. Basically, air he wasn't comfortable with compared to where his car was most of the night. And he fell back, then he hit the wall and made contact with the wall late in the race and ultimately got a poor finish out of it. He finished in the top 25, I believe. I really don't remember where he finished because we didn't really get a lot more laps in to see where he could finish. So just disappointing. But Clint Bowyer, and remember, he's working with the new crew chief, Johnny Klausmeyer. They swapped him with Mike Bugger Ravage, who's now with Eric Almirola. The 14 team was on the money last night. They had the speed in their race car. If they can just get the consistency and just have the car right where they want to be at the end of the race, then Clint Bowyer can get back to victory lane for the first time since his rain-shortened victory at Michigan in 2018. That'd be pretty cool. But Bowyer and the 14 team certainly looked, they've had good race cars. They just need the luck to go along with it. And number 5 would be my driver recap with Chase Elliott. And if everybody watched last night, you know what I'm about to talk about. First and foremost, fast race car. He's had fast cars, top 10 cars every race this year. He's at least had 3 races, which would be Vegas, Phoenix. I mean, I know the Phoenix finish, he finished 7th, but he had a fast car. And last night, he had cars capable of winning the race. He had great battles, battling with guys like Keselowski and Hamlin towards the very end. I mean, he was literally giving him a fight. Gave a fight with Eric Jones earlier, who was leading the race, but he hit the wall and Elliott closed in, and they had a good side-by-side battle in the front stretch. It looked like Elliott was on cruise control, and one of the late cautions when Clint Bowyer hit the wall and spun, Elliott was able to come in, with some fresh tires, and it looked like he was going to go overhaul Hamlin on the old tires. But with 29 laps to go, jumping in, riding right behind Denny Hamlin on the front stretch, Kyle Busch right behind him mistimes it and thinks he's clear to get behind Elliott, but he clips the left rear of Chase, and we went straight into the wall. Our first DNF of the season, finished 38th. And Chase was not happy, and it's clearly obvious it was Kyle Busch's fault. He literally hit him. People saying, did he dump him? Was it intentional? The spotter has to make sure that he has, is the one that's telling Kyle Busch, you're clear, you're not clear. He said he was clear, and obviously he was not, to get behind Elliott, and they clipped him. When Chase got out of his car, he was okay physically, but mentally he was not. And when the field went by, after to clean up his car, Elliott proceeded to flip the bird to Kyle Busch. I'm not going to use the gesture on this show. That's not appropriate at all. But NASCAR, they didn't fine him for that, or didn't fine him for not going to the ambulance right away. I mean, there's no reason to fine a guy for that. I mean, there's a reason to fine a guy if you say the F-bomb or the S-word on live television. That's a fine. That's a reduction in points. But, I mean, if you're flipping the bird to somebody on the racetrack, you see that at Bristol a lot. You don't see guys get fined for that. You don't. Like finger pointing like this, or flipping the bird, you don't get fined for that. It's not. It usually doesn't happen, but Kyle Busch admitted in his interview, it was my fault. I'm sorry, and I hate to do that to Chase Elliott and Alan Gustafson, who used to be Kyle's crew chief when he was with Hendrick Motorsports for 3 years, from 2005 to 2007. And he felt bad. He went over and talked about it. And Alan Gustafson obviously wasn't happy. They didn't push. They didn't shove each other. You're not allowed to do that with what the rules are for this pandemic thing. Even though we're racing again, we can't come in contact with people. We have to stay certain feet apart. Gustafson wasn't happy. Kyle explained, I owned up, it's my fault. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. And that's one of the last guys I would hit. We never tried to do that to Chase Elliott or Alan Gustafson. I tell you what, folks, if we had fans there last night, they would have been irate. They would have been very upset, saying he clearly dumped him. My position is, Kyle Busch wrecked Chase Elliott. He owned up his actions. It's 100% his fault. He said he was sorry. But the thing for Chase Elliott fans, we've had fast cars. Just move on to next weekend. That's all. And Kyle said, if I expect a retaliation from him and he wrecks me, I'll accept it. So I wouldn't expect that in this upcoming 2 races at Charlotte. I'd probably expect it at Bristol, which is in a couple of weeks. So we'll see. Elliott, again, fast car, really good. Looked like we were on our way to win the race this year, but we've had fast cars everywhere. We'll go get him next weekend. So this upcoming weekend, as mentioned, it is the Coca-Cola 600, the longest race of the schedule for NASCAR, and it's one of the premier events. We honor those who have died for our country while, fighting for our freedom, the military specifically. We'll honor them. We're going to honor all the doctors and the medical staff that are helping us stay healthy and stay safe in this country right now with what's going on. Obviously, no fans are allowed at Charlotte. It's the only race you're going to get on Sunday. There's no Monaco. It's canceled. It's not going to happen until next year, which is a bummer for me because I like Formula One. Indy 500's postponed. It's August, so we're going to have the Indy 500. It's a shame we don't have a Memorial Day weekend, but we'll have an Indy 500 later this year, and hopefully we have fans for that race. And speaking of fans, NASCAR, rumor has it that fans are projected to return to the grandstands, to the racetrack, on 4th of July weekend at Indianapolis, which we're scheduled to have the race there. So we'll see. We'll see how things go, but things are looking good, and hopefully the TV ratings from Sunday's race were huge. All the TV ratings from last night were good. I mean, it's not going to be as big as what Fox had the race on Sunday. We had FS1 last night, but we shall see, and hopefully we have good things coming our way. So Anyways, this upcoming Sunday is the Coke 600. Cannot wait for the NASCAR's longest night of the season. So subscribe, like, and congratulations to Denny Hamlin, second win of the season. Get ready, folks. It is time for the Coca-Cola 600 on Sunday. See ya.